Hello guys, we're back with our man Joseph, and yesterday we spoke about the coat of many colors taken from him, given back to his dad with the blood all over it, and him being sold as a slave into Egypt. And he was bought there by a man by the name of Potiphar, and he was sold there as a slave. A slave is one who just does what he's told to do under incredibly tough circumstances. But Joseph was a great slave. Potiphar noticed this and he promoted him up the ranks to the point where he became a steward. Now a slave is told what to do. A steward knows what to do because he knows well what his master likes. And he takes that which his master has given him and he invests it and he uses it well so that the master can get a return for the slave, for the steward's labor. And he was a good steward. Potiphar liked him a lot, promoted him up the ranks, made him the chief steward, put him in control of pretty much all of his wealth. And Joseph basically ran Potiphar's household. Everything was fine until Potiphar's wife came along. She was an attractive lady, and Joseph apparently was an attractive young man. And so she took an eye for him, and when she tried to make a move with him, he did what we should all do when that happens. He ducked. He took out his robe and he held onto it and he ran out of that room as fast as he could, leaving this woman totally humiliated. She decided she was going to get back. So she went to Potiphar, her husband, and lied about Joseph. Joseph is now accumulating people he needs to forgive. First of all, he had his brothers. Then he had the slave owners. And now he has his boss's wife, who is really doing him in. She was so angry, she lied about him. They took Joseph off, they didn't give him a fair trial, didn't give him an opportunity to defend himself, and they threw him into a dark, dingy prison. There he sat, and he lived as a prisoner. But you know, with Joseph, he had this consistent attitude. He just continued to be consistently good. He thought, well, here I am in this bad place. I'm going to be the best person in this bad place. Now, how many of us can say that we can pull that off? How many of us are able to say we're down in the depth of despair and we're looking for opportunities to be at our best, to do our best, to serve people, to love God, be faithful to Him, even when the circumstances are so bad around us? Well, Joseph was one in a million, and he did that. The owner of the prison, or the prison supervisor, saw this and raised Joseph up and made him the chief prison warden. He was a prisoner looking after prisoners. What a great comeback story. What an incredible story. Here he is, knocked down almost for the count of 10, but he gets up and he fights on with nobleness, with gratitude, and with forgiveness in his heart. Now we can only surmise what emotions must have gone through Joseph's head when he was thinking in the prison there about Pharaoh's wife. And he's probably thinking to himself, after all I did for Pharaoh, after all what I did for Potiphar, after all that I did for Potiphar, I raised up his people, I worked hard, I made more money for him, and now this is my reward. How tragic is that? And so he could well have looked for people to blame. He couldn't find anybody. He just owned the space and said, I don't mind, I'll pick myself up and dust myself off, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to be the best prisoner that you could possibly have. I bet he had to forgive Potiphar's wife. Man, that must be hard, eh? To have a lie that blatant, a lie that ruined his reputation, a lie that took away all of his means of living. What a miserable woman she was. And yet he forgave her. Consistently he came through, got up dusted himself off and carried on with his life. Oh man, I wish we could do the same. I wish we could be constantly, competently forgiving people around us because they don't know what they do. Now, who said that? Jesus said that. Forgive them. They don't know what they are doing. If they did know what they were doing, then maybe you'd have a reason to have a grudge, but they don't know what they're doing. These people have no idea. So when people hurt you, albeit sometimes on purpose, sometimes not on purpose, sometimes accidentally or unintentionally, we've got to be able to pick ourselves up and say, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. I'd love to be able to be a fly on the wall and hear Joseph's prayers to God, prayers of forgiveness, prayers of kindness towards Potiphar and his household, even though his reputation and his future was trampling in the mud. What kind of man is he? What kind of guy does that? A forgiving kind of guy does that. Man, it would be cool if we could be like that. Have a great day. Bye.